I welcome you all today. You are listening or reading this message not by chance, it is synchronicity. For what I have to say to you all is not for the ears of the many, but for the few. The few, comparatively speaking, that is. I wish to talk to you today about the most recent distraction the dark side has presented you. Their timing, however, is poorly, for sufficient numbers have seen through the charade. You will not be fully aware of all the details in how this European conflict began, and in fact it's not important for you to know. All that it is of concern is how you play your part in the resolution of this masquerade. This channel has spoken before about your conscious thoughts remaining neutral. We agree. That is to say, to do nothing would be to relinquish the neutrality frequency, and by doing so, in you siding with oppression. This world that you live in is an inversion of the truth. Everything that you read about and see as news is an inversion of truth. So neutral you must remain, for how can you possibly know who the oppressor is or are? It is an inverted world. It is my duty to tell you that the time has come now where only truth can be spoken, either by design or by error. Rest assured, truth will be heard, and this particular inversion is coming to an end and is now becoming very clear to over 70% of the global population. These figures will rise not just on the world stage, but in your private lives. Only truth will be revealed, and there will be nowhere to hide from it. The divine has pulled back the veil for all to see and is delivering into our lives more of whatever our state, our present consciousness is in. And so keep your conscious thoughts high and positive, because we are now beginning to see more extreme personalities, both good and positive, bad and wicked. This world that you live in is an inversion of truth. Almost everything that is of value and importance to the world consciousness that you read about and see as news is an inversion of truth. I take no pleasure in telling you that history is not what you have been led it to be. It's an inversion. Religion is not what you believe it to be. It is an inversion. You will have heard the sentiment that doctors destroy health, lawyers and judges invert justice, education suppresses real knowledge. All of this is true to a greater extent, though there are naturally good medicine men and women, educators and spiritual leaders. You must understand this, for not to understand most certainly will keep you locked down in the five senses, which is where the darkness wishes you to reside. For those of us residing in cosmic light, it is very clear when country or militia A invades country B and causes destruction, creates fear, kills and destroys livelihoods, naturally this is unacceptable. But then country C or militia says, if you do not withdraw your actions, then we will destroy, create fear, kill and destroy the livelihoods of your people. You see, from our perspective, it is the same dark, low vibrational energy. Neither of them are good. Neither of them are in the frequency of resolution, truth, love and light. This is an inversion of truth. It is an inversion of the divine and the love energy. War is an inversion of divine love. The same thinking applies to the slaughterhouses. You cannot kill an animal humanely. It is an inversion. By definition, humane and killing are on two different frequencies. Think about it. Anti-war demonstrations are an inversion. If it's peace you are looking for, then a pro-peace walk is what you should be seeking. Words have power, and words have energy, and when transformed into matter, create a physical reality. As a consequence, an anti-war march will create more of the very thing you do not desire. We have seen an example of this firsthand with the security forces at demonstrations keeping the peace. This is often an inversion. Lawful and peaceful presence is truth, but to provoke demonstrators with the protection of a badge or government is an inversion of keeping the peace. You simply cannot fight people you disagree with or fight anyone and call it peacekeeping, regardless of whether you are just doing your job. The rule also applies to those who claim to be anti and then set about with violent or provocative action. They are both an inversion. The universal law cares not for these mutations of truth. Other inversions played out on the world stage today are with your medicines. Side effects are not side effects, they are effects, meaning as a result of. Though some may not feel the symptoms for many years, they may be referred to as asymptomatic. A well drummed out phrase you will have heard time and time again by now. It also is an inversion. I shall continue no further to express endless tales of inversions, but I would encourage you to seek them out yourself. Once you have consciously discovered for yourself one inversion, the rest are easy to predict and foresee. So what is the solution? And how can you play your part in the resolution of this current conflict when taking sides creates more conflict? Actually, the solution is very simple, and what I'm about to reveal to you is a process you can apply to all conflicts you face on this beautiful planet. I can say this without fear of any contradiction whatsoever. The first step is to remain neutral in all conflicts. Yes, you heard me. You must not take sides, for by doing so you create more division. Unbeknown to you, up until this point, you are creating the energy required to keep the conflict going. You are actually applying black magic for the darkness, and by doing so, keeping the frequency sufficiently low for it to support the conflict, and the conflict supporting your current perception and consciousness in choosing sides. Then, having gone full circle, the process is repeated and repeated each time, becoming stronger and more powerful, like rolling a snowball. This is an excellent example of how you unwittingly are assisting the dark side. Once you refrain from taking sides, you are no longer in the war supporting frequency. You are in the first throes of the peace frequency, because the peace frequency does not support the war frequency. The war frequency cannot possibly raise its frequency to the peace frequency for support, because by default it would neutralize itself, so it must try bring that peace frequency to the war vibration. And like every other problem, including the current global health crisis, the moment as a collective the majority refrain from speaking about the horror of it all and focus on the world of desire, health, love, peace, joy and abundance, all of what no longer serves life falls into the abyss. I repeat myself again. It falls into the abyss, for it has no frequency match, and there is nothing, and I repeat again fervently, there is nothing any global decision maker can do to change this outcome while they remain in their 3D inversion frequency. So please, firstly, above all else, refrain from taking sides. Your decision makers in the West, as in the East, are not so virtuous as they would have their respective populations believe. They are also an inversion. And so, a collective meditation looking forward to the end of conflict is a grave misunderstanding, and once again supports the war machine. Understand this is an inversion, the exact opposite of the desired outcome of peace and stability. Your meditation should focus on seeing a country with abundance for all, joy, love, a home and jobs for all people. This is where you should apply your meditative thoughts. Following meditation, it is personal action that must follow. I say to you all now, have no more to do with decision makers and its official and non-official agencies. Act now on your own volition. Do something today that will support and therefore configure those meditative thoughts into matter, otherwise known as reality. Once again, I say to you with 100% surety, when your focus of attention is away from the newspapers, the inversion is not heard and therefore is not supported, and then two things happen. In a short space of time, the inversion reverts back to truth through truth journalism, or the newspapers collapse and go out of business, likewise for TV and radio and the other outlets. In the land of the blind, the man with one eye is king. You will have heard this statement before. In reality, another inversion, as its interpretation is grossly abused. Social media is an inversion, ever so now obvious for those with even the one eye partially open. We advise you to have nothing further with this inversion. If you would all understand that you do not need social media or these other organizations for information, they require you, your frequency for survival. They do this by trying to keep you in the five senses dimension. When you take in information and feel the need to exchange this energy with your energy, with comments and remarks, both visual and written, then you have fallen into the frequency exchange trap. They have created double inversion. Firstly, with your energy exchange, and secondly, addicting you to what is largely inaccurate information. And there lies another inversion you will for sure have become aware of. Leave them. Leave them all, and you see that the king is naked. You will soon witness with speed who holds the power and how sweetly and smoothly the world changes. We advise you to take up the gift of real communication with real people. Seek out friends and associates in the real world to exchange ideas and grow tribally. Of course, we understand that the importance of love frequency information exchange can be channeled more speedily across Mother Earth through the internet. But we also see that this system is currently not working for the evolution of mankind, wishing to transform the planet's frequency to the truth 5D frequency. For those already entering or just entered into the 5th or 5D, you have all the knowledge from within. You need to look no further. You need no further instruction from outside. You would in effect be more or less in the frequency where we can reach you and offer support. And so a final word on inversion. The inversion of the New World Order is the most prominent topic paralyzing humans on Mother Earth. It is an inversion because the dark have inverted the spiritual understanding of New World Order, which is indeed countries without borders, a requirement for all life without documentation to travel freely and without restriction. Does this frighten you? The thought of a stranger coming to your land without documentation, the right to exist where he or she desires without hindrance, and the right to free passage? Does this frighten you? The right is for all people to reside in whichever land he or she chooses, abundance for all, freedom of the right to spiritual expression, freedom of speech without restriction, and more. This is the right of every living soul on this beautiful planet. In our New World Order, there will also be no need for money. As everything is free, teachers will still continue to teach. Pilots will still fly planes, farmers will still farm, musicians will still write music, and so on. Simply beautiful and profound. None of this will be regarded as work, because everybody is supporting everyone else with thought and deed and action. In much the same way, the inversion is supported with all the fear and negative talk, and by doing so prolong current global conflicts. In 5D, none of this is recognized as work, but rather fulfillment, requirement and balance. In a world without inversion, there is so much abundance that there will be no need to even own your own home. You will just reside in your chosen abode. And in 5D, there is no threat of someone coming to take your home simply because you do not have a signature on a piece of paper claiming land rights. From our point of view, it's an abrasion of truth. So as you can see, you have the opportunity in your hands to behold abundance, living on the highest frequency where inversion cannot reside. Worrying at this level simply is not available in the unified field. I do understand your concerns about these last statements I have expressed. I am aware that you are aware the dark side has been inverting my comments about owning nothing. The difference is in their world, owning nothing is an inversion of truth. The inversion is of fear energy. Ours is of love and creative and abundance energy. I should put your fears at ease by posing these thoughts to you. How wonderful is it for you, for example, to decide that you would like a new car for your family, and all you have to do is go into a car showroom and pick up a car. That's it. Done. The car is yours. Remember, the team who designed cars will still continue to design cars if it remains their passion and without restriction. What about a house? You need a new house for your expanding family. How wonderful would it be to simply go and pick a new house or dwelling without worrying about whether or not you have the financial means? But what if the house already has residents? Okay, we find another one. There will be so much that the need to have documents as proof of purchase will not exist for this 3D energy, and based on fear. Proof of ownership, to cast aside fear that you are the rightful owner, is 3D energy. In the unified field, this is understood. And greed cannot be part of this uninverted world. The universe has what you would call stop checks, natural stop checks. And so someone who wants to change their car every week or have a new house at a whim cannot survive in this field. I repeat, cannot survive in this field. There is no such energetic or physical support for this behavior, and these people would have been called back home, ready to reflect and possibly incarnate into this unified cosmic earthly field. My brothers and sisters, you cannot enter the uninverted world of 5D if your thoughts are about mine, me, I. The uninverted world, which is actually the collective or the unified world, simply will not allow for that frequency. Imagine how beautiful your world would be, a world without worry on financial commitment, a world of simply knowing, otherwise known as claircognizance. This is the unified cosmic field, manifesting into your reality all that was, is and will be in one simultaneous moment. Truly heaven on earth. I would like to leave you with this last encouraging thought. Please understand that everyone on Mother Earth has a life contract that they came to fulfill. Many have agreed to take poison in order to help reveal the inversion on Mother Earth. Many have chosen to act as agents provocateurs to help further realize the inversion to the masses on Mother Earth. Many came here and chose to be blind, that they awaken many of you who came here as warriors to bring Mother Earth and all her inhabitants back to alignment with all that was, is and will be, and into the Golden Age, otherwise known as the real New World Order. Yes, a beautiful New World Order, a beautiful great reset. Do you see it yet? Do you see the inversion of these two great and beautiful promises given to you by the divine? You chose to come to Mother Earth and create heaven on earth. They are trying to invert heaven on earth. Yes, right now you are suffering, remember. But please do feel that you are love, pure love. That is why you chose to come to Mother Earth at this time. Do not fall back. Do not fall back. The best is yet to come. You are loved. Jeanne.